this, let's go over the format again in case you're not aware of how this is working. So we got next typically in this tournament, at least in the first 4 rounds that we've done, has been a 2v2 tournament, which means you got 2 teams of 2 players. Each team's got 1 runner, and the rule was both team members have to run at least once, and it was first team to reach 2 wins. So essentially, it was a best-of-3 series, and it was first to two. Um, and also, all of the games within that series would be at the same map in the same class. So we've done some really amazing maps so far. We've done like industrial area 2. We've done bar greens. We've done what else have we done? We've done container hull 5. Done the concert asphalt map, and we've done the small lobby map. I think that's all of them. But today we're going to be we actually have 2 different maps, UKC Season 3 and Industrial Small, and we'll be alternating between each map each game, and we're also alternating the class for each game as well. So the first game here is UKC Season 3 S2. Um, and because there's 3 teams here, this is where the format's a little different here. Because there's 3 teams, it's going to be the first team to reach 3 wins. And because of that, the maximum amount of games that this can go on for is 7 games. So that's crazy. Like we've had some really nice series so far, but those series have always been limited to 2 or 3 games. Today we can potentially go the full distance, 7 games. Um, or a team could sweep everyone else and just win it in 3 games. Who knows? So it could be a short tourney, or it could be a short round, it could be a long round. I'm kind of hoping we get a long round so we get more games in, makes it a little bit more competitive, a bit more compelling. But we'll see what happens here. Let's introduce our players. So first off, we have Speed and Melina. I believe they have a 3-1 record, I want to say. Actually, you know what? I think all 3 of these teams have a 3-1 record. So, yeah, 3-1 record, which makes sense because these are the final 3 teams in this tournament. It makes sense that everyone has like a pretty good record, a winning record. Um, and all in all, like these probably are the 3 best teams in the tournament. There were some other good teams that we've had that unfortunately lost out to, at least one of these teams. Um, but I'm glad we ended up with these 3 teams because I do think they were all in all the best teams. So Speed and Molina, 3-1 record. Week 1, I believe they beat. No, they actually took their loss actually in the first round to Misty and Alex. So this is their first chance at redemption after a few weeks. And that's key because I think this is a team that started off maybe a little bit slow. I know Speed and Melina didn't quite have that chemistry right off the bat. They did some practice sessions with me and Tooney, from what I remember, and that helped them quite a bit. Um, but as the tournament has progressed, they've slowly built up that team chemistry to the point where last week, when they faced off against Tooney and Tim, uh, they implemented a strategy of essentially passing the crown to one another, and that worked basically to perfection. Um, it was a little iffy in that second game. They only won by 9 seconds, but that third game, between the 2 of them, they had the crown for essentially 7.5 minutes, which is 3 quarters of the entire game, which is an insane amount. So, um, yeah, so it'll be interesting to see if they implement that same strategy today. It's going to be a little bit more difficult because, there's 2 extra players and like we have an additional team. And that strategy worked more so because Molina was running, so Speed kind of took on a big responsibility with doing all the blocking and all the passing. Um, whereas today, I think we're probably going to see Speed running most of the games. Speaking which, the rule still applies. Both runners on every team has to run at least once. But because we're getting potentially several games in this tournament, like we're in this round, I should say, we're getting at least 3 games, right? And probably we're going to see more than 3. So in that case, technically your best runner can run all but one of those games. But we'll see if any of these teams stagger their runners or if they're just going to put their best runner right off the bat. Um, I know for a few of these teams, they've kind of gone with the strategy of having their weaker runner run the first game and then having their best runner run games 2 and 3. But again, the format's a little different today, so that strategy uh, might not work out the same way for today. Um, yeah, so interesting to see what happens there. Next team is Misty and Alex, so I kind of brought them up as well. They also have a 3-1 record. Their loss, I believe, was to Spec and Tooney, who are no longer in this tournament. And in fact, I think Misty and Alex have beaten both Speed and Melina and Panda and IBOX, which they did in the previous round. So for them, they have the advantage of beating both of these teams already in this tournament. But of course, that was a different format, and beating both of them at the same time is going to be a whole different story. So, but they're a team that's also, besides that lone hiccup of a loss, they've generally looked very, very strong. Good team chemistry with one another. In terms of passing the crown, they're quite good. Blocking, I think in terms of blocking, yeah, that's been an underrated aspect of their strategy, but it's worked out quite well for them. And yeah, I did say yesterday in my sort of prediction, I do think they are the team I'm predicting to end up winning this final round, but it is going to be close, I think. And finally, we have iBox and Panda. They were sort of my, and also odds, pre-tournament favorite. And they did get off to a very, very strong start, starting off 3-0. They were the only undefeated team going into the previous round, round 4. But that's where they took their first loss against Misty and Alex. And it wasn't just a loss as well. It was, they just generally looked outclassed. Now, I do think they were maybe fooling around just a little bit, so I think they're going to redeem themselves today, but definitely no longer the necessarily the team to beat, in my opinion, because I think all three of these teams are quite strong, and they all have something to prove here. So, yeah, but they're the only team that's coming off a loss, so. Um, I think they might try and get off to a strong start here, just try and redeem themselves after the previous round. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Oh my goodness, it is a miracle. All right, so everybody is in the blade. It looks like everyone's in here. Melina is going to start off with the crown. And let's get started. All right, so yeah, so this is one of the maps that has these the jump pads, so you get in right away. Melina's going to be driving in from behind the wall, and Misty was able to steal it off of him. Interesting, Misty's in a very bright, like almost like a lime green or a neon green blade. Maybe that's a strategy so Alex can see him a bit easier. Melina with a very nice find. Speed was kind of in between the buildings, but I think Melina was able to see him. You can see iBox having some issues getting into the map. He's only just made it in now. Speed's trying to lose Misty there. He's trying to go right, but Misty just stayed on his right, and then Speed kind of ran out of space next to the container, so Misty got it from him. Nice juke there from Misty to get away from Speed. Melina misses on the cut. But Speed rerouted himself and got in a nice cut on Misty. He's not going to dart out of the buildings just yet. There's a lot of these buildings. It's a very tight area here, um, but sometimes you can use it to your advantage. So Alex got it there from Speed. Let's see if he can find Misty. Speed's trying to deck him out of the way. There's some decent going on here, and iBox actually steals the crown there from Alex. iBox is the runner for his team. So in case you just joined us, it is Speed, Alex, and Oh, actually, it is Alex running, not Misty, so that's my mistake. So Alex, Speed, and iBox, who are our three runners for this first game. Molina here doesn't quite have the angle to find Speed. I think he does see him though. Oh, but they end up missing, but recovered nicely so that Speed can get the crown here. Uh, Nice little juke there from Speed to get away. He has his eyes focused on Misty there in that bright green blade. That's actually Molina that's behind them. I think he's going to look for the pass here. So very smart decision from between the two of them. Molina though hit the crate, I think. So that allows iBox to swoop in and get the crown here. And Misty steals it off of him. So yeah, I think it is Alex running. I think they did say that to start off with. And Speed actually made an interception there. Kind of pushed Alex away at the last second. And because Misty was already committed to going to Alex, the momentum took him right into Speed. But Alex recovers very quickly to get the crown off of Speed. Drives himself into some open space. Still alive here, but couldn't quite get away from iBox. And iBox here is going to try and use the obstacles to his advantage here, but you could just see on this map with six people and blades, there's just not a lot of places you can go to block yourself from the other from your opponents. So because of that, I don't think we're going to see anybody with super long runs. In fact, most people are probably going to have runs averaging like maybe like 10 seconds or something or less. It is just a very fast-paced map with lots of open space. Uh, Misty here was able to find Alex finally, uh, but Alex gets himself read by both Speed and Molina. But it is Molina who ended up with the crown first. He should be able to get the pass here, but somehow they end up missing. It's wow. Okay, I thought he was going to lose it for a second after that, but Speed just about got there in time to get the crown from his teammate. And that Speed here was off to an early lead. Yeah, just there were like three cutters there, so just not much Speed could do to avoid all three of them. Um, Unfortunately for him, it was Misty who got it from him, and because of that, Alex is now on the run. And Alex has now put himself into second place, but he lost to Crown Molina, and because Speed was just kind of hanging back, that allowed Molina to kind of drive into that open space and find Speed easily. But you could just see, just not a lot of space for you to go. Speed was just kind of aware of I think a couple people trying to cut him off, try to slow down, but iBox is just right behind him, and there's just not much you could do there. And similarly, there for iBox, I think he did know Speed was there, but he's just so focused on everyone else. There's not much he could do to get away. Um, yeah, this is a very tough map, especially in S2 blades with six people to kind of to kind of get away. Speed there unfortunately hit the wall, but he was going to lose the crown anyway to Panda, who manages to get a very nice pass off to iBox in traffic. iBox definitely aware of Speed there, kind of juked away at the last second. He's actually put up a decent run here. Molina unfortunately takes out his teammate there, and that's going to allow iBox to finally get some breathing room. And he's put up, I think, probably the longest run of the game so far. He still has the crown here, just kind of driving away from everyone. Um, and it's actually his teammate there who saved him. So let's see if Panda can find some space. He cannot. Just too many people chasing him in iBox because he was facing the opposite direction of Panda when he got tagged. He was sort of like the last person to get there. Speed, a little bit of mistake there. I think he would have been better off passing that crown to Misty. Instead, it was Alex who got it. But Molina got in a very nice tag. They're in open space, but they went too early. Um, yeah, so a couple of times that's happened so far between Molina and Speed, where they just haven't been very clean on their passes. Panda there with a nice deck on Speed, just to slow his momentum a little bit. Because of that, Speed is behind on the action now. iBox faked a brake check to jet away, and he's now closing in on the lead here. And you can see IBOX is just trying to take some nice lines around the building here. Uh, Misty's able to get the crown, but he gets closed down by Panda. So Panda and IBOX started this game off very slowly, but they found a rhythm now. Halfway, we're more than halfway through this game. So the other teams here are going to have to kind of stop this momentum. Speed tried to go in for a cut. Uh, IBOX braked on him, but it was Molina who got it from him, and they play it very patiently this time, and this time they were able to make the pass successfully. But Speed doesn't see IBOX. I think he braked because there was someone in front of him, and because of that, that allowed IBOX enough recovery time to get it from him. But Molina once again gets a nice tag. I think Molina's gotten in probably the most amount of tags this game so far. So a very good showing from him. Here to start off game number one. And that's going to allow Speed here to potentially get back in the lead. I thought IBOX was going to get it there, but Misty came in for a very fast cut and finds Alex on the pass. Alex now needs to make up a lot of time. He's basically a minute down from everyone, but unfortunately loses it to IBOX, who is probably the last person he wants to lose the crown to here. IBOX was aware of Speed there, but once again gets tagged by Molina. Um, this time they get the pass off again. So very back and forth here. With 2 minutes remaining, it's sort of looking like it's between Speed and IBOX here. Somebody there, I think that was Misty, was expecting maybe a brake check from Speed. Didn't happen. Speed kind of hit the building there. Molina once again with another tag. Can he find Speed in traffic though? He does. Wow. So very good sequence here. But Speed's going to have to do a little bit of a better job running here. He's not been able to put up any long runs. And it looks like that's going to continue. And then he loses it to Panda, who, oh, but he crashes into the obstacle. IBOX is right there. I think he crashed again. A bit unfortunate for them that they couldn't make that pass because they were right next to each other. Now Alex here, I think he is out of time to win, but he could still kind of play spoiler here between Speed and IBOX. Panda's got the crown again. Speed's just kind of following IBOX around, trying to prevent this pass for as long as possible because every second can count here. Panda very smartly though just rerouted himself, just drove all the way around the obstacles, kind of drove in a circle so he could find IBOX on the pass. IBOX is going to go around the building, so Speed's kind of lagging behind here. He's going to go for a cut. Uh, yeah, he did expect IBOX to kind of cut back into the building, but still left him a little bit too much space. And now IBOX has the lead again. He's turned back around again. Molina's got the crown once again. He sees Speed. Can they get this pass? They do. They played it very patiently this time. So very nice patience from them there. Can Speed? Oh no, but he hit the building and it was IBOX trailing behind them to get it. So kind of an unforced error there from Speed, but Molina's got the crown again, but they are out of time. Wow, okay. Very wild finish there to game number one. Um, Only a 10-second difference between IBOX and Speed. So yeah, just that was a crazy first game. I thought Speed there was going to take the lead back at the end because Molina got in a very nice tag and a pass to him. But Speed kind of made an unforced error going a little too quickly into the building and crashed. We rarely see that from Speed, who's a very good player under pressure. He's won countless free-for-all tournaments this year, but kind of an unforced error there from him, and that might have costed them that first game. But yeah, let's take a quick look at the cars. I think everyone's in the Elemental, Panda's in the Shelby Daytona, and Speed is in the Donut Van. But all of our runners, I believe, are in Elementals, and Alex is the lone blocker who's in the Elemental. I think it's really just Panda who's kind of gone with a bit of a unique choice with the Shelby Daytona, but it is a very fast car, I believe. I've not used it, but I think playing against it, it is quite fast. Molina here gets the crown from Misty as he was getting into the map, and he finds Speed. Oh, well, it's actually Melina who's running, so Speed there, I guess, was just helping him out. Melina has played on this map a couple of times in practice, I believe. Once again, finds Speed on the pass. Now, this is a strategy they used quite a lot in the previous round against Tim and Tooney, and it was very successful for them. It's a lot harder to execute this with this many people here, but so far to start off this game, they've been able to do it. And Melina this time, though, gets cut off by Alex, who played it very patiently, kind of just braked at the right moments. But Misty kind of drove a little too far ahead of Alex, and also there was somebody, I think Panda, who got in between them. So they couldn't make the pass, and Speed gets in a nice head-on tag here. Can he find Melina? I think Melina is actually right behind him. And that's going to allow Melina to jet off now, and maybe get into some open space on this side. Speed's right beside him too if they need to make the pass. Yeah, just too many people there, and IBOX is on the board now. IBOX is the runner between him and Panda. Alex kind of tried to do what he did to Melina, but IBOX saw it coming. He was a little too smart for it. Alex is going to go around the building here to try and get the cutoff, but IBOX kind of went very quickly around the building and kind of beat Alex to the spot. Alex, a little hesitation there. I think if he had committed the whole way, he would have got IBOX there, and now it's Speed who ended up getting the crown. But Melina's all the way on this side, so Speed's going to have to stay alive here for as long as he can. He does stay alive, but in the process, that took him away from Melina. He's going to have to reroute here. Melina's kind of stuck behind both Panda and Alex. Speed still has the crown, though, and finds Melina. Wow, so Speed held it there for a good 20 seconds or so, and was still able to find his teammate. And that's the advantage of having someone like Speed, the team veteran, to help you out there if you're Melina. But Melina lost it very quickly here to IBOX. But Speed once again gets IBOX on sort of a head-on cut there. Alex gets himself in between Speed and Melina. Alex almost got him in reverse as well. Speed once again is going to try and hold the crown for as long as possible. He actually went inside the building, somehow stayed alive, but he couldn't quite stay alive long enough to get the pass off to Melina. And IBOX here has the opportunity to take the lead, but Alex with a nice tag. He has Misty right next to him. Yeah, he was still ghosted when someone went through him, so he had a bit of time there to make the pass to Misty. Misty is very familiar with this map, knows how to play it very well. He's going to be the one that's most likely to put up long runs, so even though he's in last place here, he can easily take the lead very quickly here. Gets around both IBOX and Speed there. Somebody, I think that was Panda, trying to make a cut. But you can see Misty's just playing it very smartly around the buildings. He's taking very good lines. You can see he takes kind of a wide line here, which unfortunately meant Melina was able to get the cut in on him. Melina, though, kind of panicked a little bit. He cut back this way into traffic, and that allows IBOX to get the crown again. And right now, if your team, if you're the other two teams, you do not want IBOX to win this game, because that means he's going to take a 2-0 lead here. Alex there played it very smartly, just very patiently, kind of spun on the spot because he saw Misty was right next to him. So all he was doing there was just trying to milk the 5-second ghost to get the crown to him. IBOX once again back on the crown. The only thing he hasn't been able to do so far this game is put up a long run, but as we saw in game 1, he is capable of making those long runs. Panda's actually sat himself on the other side of the building, so he was able to block Alex from making the cut. And now IBOX is getting himself a pretty decent run here. Alex was expecting him to juke him, but he didn't. And now he's going to have to recover, follow, and chase from behind, sort of. There was a lot of cutters there, but nobody was quite able to get IBOX. So now he's built himself a really big lead here. And let's see. Oh, I thought Alex had it for a second, but no. It's actually Speed from behind who gets it. But you can see Melina flipped, hitting the wall, which unfortunately is something that happens on this map. but Molina's still able to get away. He's going to go behind the building here. We have a couple cutters. He's going to take it wide, and he makes it out. Okay, very nice. I think Panda there in the Shelby was anticipating it, but just couldn't quite get there in time. But IBOX gets in a nice tag on Molina, and he can continue to build on this lead here. Speed and Alex kind of run into each other there, and it's actually Misty who gets in the cut. And yeah, Misty's going to have to put in kind of a long run of his own here if they want to have a chance here. Something happened there. I think maybe he ended up on the ramp, but regardless, it's IBOX who gets the crown once again. And he's really putting up quite the performance here. Gets read there by Misty. Misty's actually going to turn back around. Can he make it out of this area? Looks like he will. Gets himself into some open space. But everyone's just kind of closing in on him. And Alex comes in for a very clutch save, going sort of drifting sideways. But you can see there's a lot of people here, but somehow he's able to find Misty there, even though IBOX is trying to block that pass from happening. Misty's going to go around the building. There's a lot of cutters here, but he gets away from all of them. But in the process of doing that, had to take that little jump there on the dirt. But he's still alive here. Alex is going to go in for a block. I think Misty's free all the way on this side, so this is his opportunity now to put up a big run to try and take the lead here. Misty again turning back around. He almost hit the building there, but I think he saw at the last moment it was his teammate who was going to be there first, and they get the pass off here. So very good teamwork and coordination there. They're finding their rhythm here between Alex and Misty here. And just like that, Misty's taking the lead. It looked like IBOX was going to run away with it for a second there, but just like that, it's Misty's in the lead. Molina's gotten the crown. He's kind of a minute down here, but still enough time to make a comeback here. But he's going to have to put up a long run of his own. Something happened there. I think Speed came in and maybe got a block. There's some sort of desync that happened there. But Misty's able to get it from Molina. He can try and build on this lead here. Alex is just kind of watching, seeing where everyone is. Oh, but Panda got in a nice blindside cut there. He sees IBOX, but IBOX is getting decked here. And because of that, Speed was able to chase down Panda. Speed, of course, in the donut van gets the crazy FOV, so he can kind of see on top of everyone, which might be helpful when he's making cuts and stuff. Nice read there from IBOX, just fully anticipated what Molina was trying to do there. And he's going to try and take back the lead here. But Speed, I think for the third or fourth time, gets in a nice little that one wasn't head on, but it was sort of like a cut on IBOX to get the crown from him. Molina is actually going to turn around here, which I think actually is going to work out for him. He's going to have some space here, or a little bit of lag. Oh, he might not have seen IBOX there on his left though. Speed once again is going to try and chase down IBOX though. Couldn't quite do it. Panda also gets in there. Molina actually took out Alex there, but thankfully for Alex, Misty was on the other side to cut off IBOX. Can Misty make it out of this section though? He is struggling quite a bit there. Couldn't quite get the pass off the Speed in time, and it's Speed who gets the crown away. He's going to try and find Molina, but he couldn't. It's IBOX on the crown again. Once again, we're going to get a close finish here by the looks of things. Panda's just going to come right in and deck Alex because he saw that he was the one that had the widest cut to IBOX. IBOX, though, is going to kind of get himself stuck there, and Misty with a very clutch tag here. He's going to have to drive off here and try and get as much time as possible without losing the crown to IBOX, which I think he's going to be able to do here. But Panda, you can see, is trying to close it in there. Doesn't quite have the turning ability of the Elemental to do it. Nobody else is cutting here, so it looks like Misty is going to be taking game number 2 here with a very clutch tag with about 20 to 30 seconds remaining in this game. So another close finish here. And now Team Misty and Alex are on the board with their first win. So the scoreboard right now reads Panda IBOX 1 win, Misty Alex 1 win, and Speed and Molina sitting at 0 at the moment. we are getting set here for game 3. I do apologize for the ads. There's not much I can do here. It's just on Panda's side, it's what pops up. And Panda is actually going to be the one lone car that's going to be different here. He's in the F-set, whereas everyone else is in the Elemental. And Panda is the runner here, so I think he's maybe going for a bit of a unique choice here. Maybe like I know Panda is the type where he likes to counter what his opponents do, and maybe he just figures that, you know, counter picking with an Exocet might be an advantage on this map. And he did get a tag there off of Speed. He is running here, so I think that was just a pass to IBOX so he can get out of that tight space there behind the building. And now he's going to drive himself into open space here. See, IBOX is just trailing. He's going to look for him on the pass again. So they're kind of using the strategy that Speed and Melina were trying to use in game number 2 here. But IBOX here can't seem to find enough space to get the crown to Panda, but Panda's going to try and cut him off here and to get the pass done successfully. And is just going to try and find the space, but you can see the Elemental is just going to be able to keep up behind him, regardless of what type of juke he's trying to go for. And Speed's able to get the crown from him. It is Speed and Misty running for the other 2 teams here. Alex gets the crown back. Oh, I thought that was it looks like it was 5 seconds just yet, but luckily for Panda it was. He's gonna have to look for IBOX again on the pass. Alex is trying to just block off Panda here. I think IBOX try to get out of the buildings because you don't want to be stuck behind there with this many people on this map. But in the process of doing so, lost the crown to Misty. Misty's going to try and find... Oh, he just managed to find some space on the inside of Panda and on the inside of someone else going the opposite direction. So very nice running here from Misty. He does lose the crown here to IBOX though. And Panda very smartly just kind of stayed in one spot but moved his momentum to the right just to make himself a bigger target for IBOX so they can make that pass. Panda there was just trying to get everyone committed inside the tunnel, but it didn't look like anybody fell for it, and Misty was able to get the crown from him. But Panda gets him back on a cut here. So the Exocet so far is off to the early lead. It does look quite quick here. He is down on PI, I think, compared to everyone else as well. As if he needed another disadvantage to the Elementals. Try to go for Speed there, but Speed braked on him at the last second. But in the process of doing so, Misty came on the other side of the building and got him on the tag. So Speed probably has the most to prove in this game right now because he and Melina are the only team without a victory so far. But speaking of Melina, he's on the crown here. He finds Speed on the pass. Panda's gonna go for the cut again, just was a tad too slow, but Alex parked himself there, played it very patiently on his cut. But he went inside the tunnel, whereas Misty is kind of outside. They're gonna try and find each other here, and they do. So very good work there for Alex to hold on to the crown long enough so that he can find Misty there. Misty's still kind of stuck behind the building here, though nobody seems to be able to get out from this area. IBOX in the process of trying to find Panda, though, everyone just kind of converged on him. They were a little too far apart when the ghost ended. And Speed's on the crown here again. Speed's gonna have to put up a bit of a run here to kind of get himself into contention for the win. Panda though just closes down the Exocet. You can see it's a little bit quicker than the Elemental in a straight line by the looks of things. And IBOX there cleaned up for him. Because Panda's just so quick right now in the straight line, he just out-dragged everyone to get to IBOX. Oh, but yeah, that was kind of an easy read there for Misty to make. That's the one detriment for Panda. He's just not going to be able to make any long runs in the Exocet because everyone just can just close him down so quickly. Speed gets Misty there. Yeah, nobody's really Nobody's really running away with it here, although Misty can build on his lead here. He's going to try and go behind the container, but IBOX with a very nice cut here, but he and Panda are kind of far apart here. He's going to have to reroute, but he couldn't. Speed gets him from behind. Speed's going to come this way. Does he see the cut? He doesn't. Panda with a very nice cut there on Speed. So Speed's not been able to get any momentum on his side. And it looks like it's been Panda and IBOX so far who've been on the crown probably the most often out of everyone here. Misty there. Oh, I thought he missed for a second there, but maybe on the process of hitting the wall, Panda might have just ran into him there. Panda's going to go for the cut on Misty. Oh, I thought he had it for a second, but Misty braked right at the very last moment and went around the obstacle there. Melina's gotten the crown. Oh, he tried to find Speed, but he took too long trying to make that turn, and Misty steals it off of him. And it's Misty now who's off to the early lead in this game. Gets a save there from Alex. Speed just missed Alex there, and Misty gets the pass from his teammate. He is going to go behind the building here. He's just going to try and use as many obstacles as possible, but there's just too many people there. He got himself trapped, but it was Alex's teammate once again to the rescue. Now they can build on this lead. Yeah, right now it is Misty's game to lose. Misty and Alex's game to lose by the looks of things. Speed with a very nice read there on Misty. And he's going to have to put up a big run here, but you can see he kind of took too long recovering from the tag. And Panda just parked himself at the right spot and got the crown. He's going to look for IBOX for the save. Alex does a great job here though, just decking Panda. Wow, what a deck that was. So IBOX is going to have to hold on to this crown for just a while longer, but he can't. It's Melina who gets the crown. Speed's right next to him. Alex is coming in though for the interception. It's actually Panda who capitalizes on all of that. He's going to go behind the building here. There's a few cutters. He's just going to continue on his way here. Somehow is still alive though. I don't know if IBOX still got in a block maybe on someone, but that's going to give Panda some momentum coming into the open area here. He's going to attempt the turnaround, and he actually faked it. Oh, he's still alive. So this is Panda's best run by far so far this game. Brake check Speed. Oh, just couldn't quite get away from Misty. It was a good attempt, but not much else he could have done in that situation. But that was a very nice run from Panda, but unfortunately, because he lost it to Misty, Misty got some time on him, but he gets it back from Misty here. We might be on for another close finish here. With about 2 minutes remaining, Panda's going to try and get as much time done as possible. Unfortunately crashed. I thought Misty was going to get it again, but it's actually Melina who got the crown. This time makes the pass to Speed in time. Speed still has enough time. He's not eliminated from this game yet. We all know what Speed's capable of. He brake checked everyone there, but he didn't see Panda. And Panda's now can try and reclaim the lead that he held to start off this game. Melina there was expecting a brake check, didn't quite happen. Speed and Misty both were closing in on Panda, and I wonder if that was a strategic pass to Speed instead of Misty. Because as you can see, Panda right now is ahead by milliseconds over Misty right now. But he crashes inside the building, and that means IBOX is going to have to hold on to the crown for just a while longer. It's happened a few times so far, and he just can't hold on for that long, waiting for Panda to recover. Speed though loses it again to IBOX. IBOX is going to come back around to find Panda, and now Panda, with about just under a minute remaining here, let's see how big of a lead he can put up here. Speed's going to go for the cut on that side, misses. Oh, Panda tried to fake Misty out there, but he didn't fall for it. Now Misty has a chance to take back the lead. Panda's trying to close down his avenue so he can't get out of the building area. Misty crashes, unfortunately. Gives it to Melina, though, because he didn't want to give it to Speed. Melina still ghosted, but somehow unghosted next to Misty, and Misty's now taking back the lead again. He's still stuck behind the building. IBOX with a very clutch tag here. Can he find Panda? He does. So now Panda has a chance to take back the lead. Not a lot of time remaining. He's gonna maybe take it back towards the building again. No, he's just looking for IBOX to secure it here. Very smart decision there from Panda, because the ghost alone will take 5 seconds off the clock. And just like that, wow, another fun finish there by 4 seconds this time. Panda in sort of the unique choice here of taking the axis that pulls it off, and they take game number 3. That was another wild finish. Wow. And just very strategic there for Panda at the end. Didn't try to run away with it. He saw IBOXes right behind him, gave it to his teammate, and because there's a 5-second ghost period, that meant time ran out on everyone else. So yeah, as we can see, our pre-tournament favorites, Panda and IBOX, by far the most experienced team out of the 3 here. And you could just see that experience paid off big time in that game. As expected, everyone is in the blade, and Speed starts off with the crown. And I think his placement here, he is kind of close to the ramp here. So this is his chance, his best chance so far to get off to an early lead. And remember, Speed and Melina here have still yet to win a game. So this is kind of a good opportunity for them to do that. Melina actually lands behind Speed, so that's going to give him a little bit of a cushion here, a safety net if he needs one. He's going to commit behind the building, which is smart because he doesn't know where everyone is. Just get everyone committed behind him. Uh, Somehow anticipated IBOX is going to cut him off without even seeing him. But in the process of doing so, Alex gets it from him, finds Misty on the tag. Speed's going to try and line up a cut, but couldn't quite do so. And now Misty is away and running. He's going to take it behind the building. There's a few different people cutting him off, but one of them is his teammate Alex. But Speed just got such a great line on the cut there. And just Misty had no time to react to it. Speed's going to take it not behind the building, but in front, but that's the risk of doing so. Everyone else is kind of there as well. Panda, unfortunately, though, went on the jump and flipped his car and kind of had insta brakes, and that threw off Speed a bit. But Speed once again gets a nice cutoff on Misty, this time a bit blindsided maybe. So Speed now, maybe he can use this momentum to build up an early lead, almost crash into the building. That's happened a couple times to Speed, which is very uncharacteristic of him. Gets the pass or the save to Melina, who's kind of by himself because everyone is over here with Speed. He's going to try and reroute, but in the process of doing so, lost it to IBOX. IBOX is a nice read there, and now he's on the board. Speed just tried to outturn him, couldn't quite do so there. IBOX is going to turn around. He's not going to go behind the building. He's going to go actually this way on the right, kind of take a wide line, but Misty was there to intercept him. Misty now is going to take it behind the building here. Speed is right here though, and once again, Speed, that's his 3rd tag on Misty already, and we're just over 2 minutes in. And because of that, Speed can continue to build on his lead here, but he again crashes. Wow, this is not what we typically see from Speed. I wonder if maybe he is feeling a little bit of the pressure here because their team is still not on the board with a win there. IBOX also kind of crashed there, but it is Melina, Speed's teammate, and they had perfect timing there to make the pass. Speed, knowing everyone's sort of on the other side, is going to try and go behind Panda with a very early read. A bit unfortunate there, maybe from Panda not to get it. Speed tried to pass it to Melina there. Oh, they got a little stuck in between there. They're trying to find the pass, but that was a situation where, after you miss the tag, you kind of have to recalibrate what you want to do. but Speed does recover very quickly there and gets another tag. So that's so far been what's working for him. Speed's just been able to get a lot of these tags. He's going to look for Molina on the pass here because there's nobody around them. We're worried about the cutoff. Very smart there from Speed. He knew that he was still a bit early, so he actually braked on whoever was chasing from behind so that he could put himself in between or to be next in line for the crown to get it from Molina. Crashes again though. Wow. I don't know what's going on here with Speed, but this is again very uncharacteristic from him. IBOX is going to take it behind the building here. Of course, we know IBOX is the team to beat at the moment, him and Panda, because they're the only team with 2 wins at this point. Another win clinches the tournament for them. Misty now back on the crown. Everyone is sort of here behind him, so he's going to have a lot of space in front of him to work with. Panda's going to go for the cut, but he kind of he didn't have the best line to get to Misty, and it's actually iBox who capitalized on that. Panda, though, with a great deck there on Misty head on, which is always the type of block that you want. Those head on blocks are always very effective. That's going to allow iBox some time and space to get away. Speed was expecting a break check. I think if he had just committed all the way, he would have had the crown there, but he kind of played it very hesitantly with iBox. Tried to get another cut on Misty, but the container was in the way. And Panda with a very nice tag there on Misty. He's going to play it patiently, just trying to find as much space as possible so he can get it to iBox cleanly, which he was able to do. iBox gets kind of cut off there by Speed, so he's forced to go around the building there with Misty right behind him. Speed is just kind of stationary here. I think maybe he was expecting somebody to get it from iBox, but he was able to hold on to the crown that entire time. Speed's going to go for the cut, but Misty already got the tag in on iBox there. Speed still has the lead here, but as you can see, Misty and iBox are kind of chipping away at it. I think Misty took the jump there, and that allows Panda to get it. Speed just missed it. Molina, can he kind of be in the way there? He's just not there, so iBox gets the crown, and he can now try and take the lead. Kind of get himself in trouble there, but is still able to get away, but only momentarily as Misty closes him down. If you're Speed and Molina, you kind of want to get the crown soon here because you've kind of lost the momentum you built to start off this game. Speed is still in the lead, but not for long at this pace. He's trying to play it patiently, but Misty decides to go around the building. Speed's going to go for the cutoff, but Misty sees him. Molina unfortunately pushed Misty. Alex still got in a very nice block. Somebody goes flying there, and it's actually iBox, who was sort of the last man who ends up getting the crown. But Misty gets it right back from him. So it's kind of back and forth right now between Misty and iBox. So Speed's going to have to do something here. Maybe he'll have a chance here. Misty smartly turns around, but iBox beats Speed to the crown. It's a bit unfortunate there. Misty loves doing those turnarounds, but that time I don't think he anticipated that iBox is going to close him down that quickly. Smart save there from Panda. Can they find each other here, though? They couldn't. Molina with a very well-timed cut there. There's a lot of people in between him and Speed, though. He does play it patiently, goes around. That's going to build up some space. Can he hold on to the crown long enough here, though, to find Speed? He does. Very, very nicely done there by Molina. Didn't force it, played it patiently. Speed, got closed down by Panda. He didn't take a very good line into that building there. Because of that, Panda was able to close him down from behind. Alex steals it from Panda, though. Speed's going to get in between him and Misty. Alex has no choice but to drive away. He tried to brake check. That's the opportunity where you might want to just drive off. Molina is going to drive off himself here, which is smart because Speed, I think, anticipated that and went around the building to cut off Molina. Let's see now if Speed can finally put up a nice run. I don't think. Oh, somehow he's still alive here, going inside the building. He's still alive, and he finds Molina for the save. I don't know how he stayed alive there, but Alex is blocking Speed here, so Molina's have to go around the building here. Panda's also in the way there, and yeah, he just parked himself right in front of Speed. Speed couldn't quite free himself, and that allowed Panda to get the crown. But Misty cuts him off, so We're getting a lot of exchanges here where the runners haven't been able to find their partners. Once again, Molina with a cutoff. So they're kind of just trading crowns here. I think this time they should be able to get the pass. They do now. And Speed has a chance, and he's now taking back the lead. So for the first time, we're getting kind of a very close three-way, um, yeah, very close game three ways at the top here. Oh, Alex, wow, he just parked himself in front of Speed. I don't think Speed saw that one coming. He tried to get back at Alex there, but Alex put on the brakes and just about found Misty. Now Misty has a chance to take back the lead. He has no choice but to go inside this little building here where there's not a lot of space. And as you can see, IBOX got the crown from him there. And IBOX has a chance. Now he's running in third here. Of course, he's the one person you do not want to see winning this game if you're the other two teams, because that will mean the end of this tournament. But he does have a chance here to take the lead and end it right here. We're under a minute remaining. He does have the lead now. I wonder now if Speed and Misty might have to start working together here to make sure iBox doesn't win this game. Molina's gotten the crown, but he is far from Speed. He's going to have to go all the way around. Can he do so? It looks like he will. Wow, he just took all the momentum from going behind the building. Because everyone else is chasing, that allowed him to get away there. But Speed couldn't build up any momentum of his own to get away. And it's Alex who gets the crown, but he loses it to Panda. Can Panda find iBox in time? Speed's going to go in reverse to try and block it off. Oh, but Panda's still alive here. They're still trying to block off iBox, and Molina gets the crown here. Can Molina find Speed, or if he can just drive off, I think Speed's going to hold on to it here. Just about. What a clutch sequence there at the very end. Another close finish here. Wow, we're getting just absolute bangers of four games so far, and just like that, Speed takes it. Look how close this is. Let me pause it here. iBox had the lead with 50 seconds to go. He had the lead and the crown with 50 seconds to go. But at the very last moment, when Panda had the crown, I thought they were gonna make that pass, but Speed went in reverse to block iBox from getting it. Panda had to drive off, and Molina got in a clutch tag at the end there to save them. Wow, what a sequence there to end off game number four. And this is the culmination of having this is, like I said, our fifth week of this tournament. This is the culmination of all the teamwork, all the practice, all the strategies that each of these three teams have put in place over these past few weeks. And they're putting it all on the line here to end off this tournament. So we're back at season 3 S2. Everyone's back in the blade. No surprises there. Panda's going to start off with the crown here. And all I can think about is how close is this next game going to be? Because, yeah, it's been insane so far. So Panda's going to get into the map. I don't see iBox, and right off the bat, Speed gets the crown from Panda. Very difficult on this map, especially when you start off with the crown. You have absolutely no idea where anybody is, and already they're just cutting you off. But Panda there gets back at Speed, and this time iBox is next to him, and they get the pass off. And iBox did win the first game in this format. He was the runner for that, so he'll be looking to repeat that to close off this tournament. Speed kind of got decked there, which momentarily did help him, but Panda was there to save iBox. He still can't quite get the pass though. Everyone's just kind of getting in the way there. And because of that, Alex ends up with the crown here. So that was a case where maybe Panda played it too patiently, and there's just too many people in the way. Alex gets the pass off to Misty here. And Misty's going to go behind the building. Speed's going to expect a turnaround. Oh, but Misty braked on him at the very last moment. That was very smart from Speed to read the turnaround, but Misty's reaction was just too quick. Um, but Panda's back on the crown again. You could see Misty there was trying to just maybe deck iBox to the last moment, but he was just too far behind. iBox is the brake check there. Misty still all the way on his right there. Speed's going to try and enter the conversation on the left, but Panda got in a nice deck on Misty there. Uh, iBox stayed alive long enough to find the pass to Panda. So they're the team right now off to the early start, and that's not what the other two teams want to see right now. Um, Definitely don't want to see iBox with the early lead. Good juking there from iBox, kind of just anticipating what Speed was going to do. But Alex got in a nice cut there. Panda's going to try and put himself in between Alex and Misty, but wasn't quite able to do so successfully. And that allows Misty now to maybe build some momentum this way. Um, Speed is still a little bit down on the timing, but we're still early in the game. So let's see what happens here. Misty's actually going to turn back towards the building again. Speed's going to cut off on the right. A couple people crashed there, and Melina unfortunately took out Speed, but I think Speed was going to miss anyway. Speed's going to get in between iBox and Panda. That's going to at least pause the pass from happening momentarily, but iBox does get it eventually. Speed's going to kind of jet in at the end, just missed iBox though. He had a good timing, but just the execution at the end wasn't quite there. Alex is going to go for the cutoff here. Speed's just going to read it all the way, but iBox turned around at the last second there. This is some very nice running here from iBox. He's just very aware of what Speed is trying to do. Um, and because of that, he's built up the initial lead in this game so far. But you can see Misty's trying to make his way around the buildings. Didn't quite see Speed, who got in a nice head-on tag. Speed's kind of milked the ghost a little bit, find Melina so they can just kind of get out of that situation. But there's so many cars next to Melina, he's going to have to turn around. But he's going to go behind the building, which is going to take him further away from Speed here. And because of that, iBox closed him down. I think Melina had the chance to turn towards Speed, actually, instead of going behind the building. But in the process of doing so, iBox got the crown from him. iBox is going to turn around here away from Speed. It's almost like he knows where Speed is at all times. But that's going to allow Alex to close in on him. Alex is going to have to go behind the building now. Let's see if he can find Misty. He does. So very good passing there between the two of them. And Misty has a bit of open space in front of him now. He's not that far behind iBox, so he has a lot of opportunities here to try and take the lead. Kind of backed himself into a corner there, and somehow it's actually Speed who ends up with the crown. Speed is kind of far. He's about a minute down right now on time. Uh, and Alex just closed him down from a very far distance. Speed just had to make a very sharp inside turn around the tunnel there, and Alex got him from behind. Misty's going to turn back around the building. He loves doing this on this map. Melina kind of got in the way there. If you remember from game number 1, Melina was the one who got the most tags in this format, S2 on this map. So far, he hasn't gotten as many tags, but he does find Speed there on the pass. And I think Speed is going to need Melina to kind of find that magic that he had in that first game if they want a chance here. But Speed couldn't quite get away from Panda. And Panda very smartly gets the pass there to iBox. iBox goes inside the building, decides to cut back behind it now. And Misty gets a cut off on him. So it's pretty much right now a lot of back and forth between Misty and iBox. And Misty now actually is going to take the lead for the first time this game, but he's not going to be able to hold on to it for long if Panda gets the pass here to iBox. There's somebody in the way there, but he's still able to make the pass. And now iBox retakes the lead. I wonder at some point now, with Speed still a minute down, will he start maybe helping Misty and Alex perhaps? Just to give him another chance and not let iBox and Panda run away with it. Misty crashed into the building. He was still ghosted, so he could keep going. Melina, oh, he was still early that time. Oh, I thought they had enough time. I thought that was 5 seconds already, but clearly it wasn't. So Misty was able to get the interception. You can see Panda, not Panda, but IBOX is just chasing very closely from behind, and because of that, Misty's focus was on him so much that Panda got in the cut, but Misty got in between Panda and IBOX and got the interception. So Misty's definitely, he knows what's at stake here, and he's definitely trying his best to keep this tournament alive for at least another game here, so that they have the opportunity to close it out for the next game. Melina with a nice tag there. I didn't quite see what happened because Speed was behind the building. This time they are able to get the pass. They were kind of had some issues prior to that sequence in terms of getting the passes. Speed, yeah, just didn't have enough space to make all of those maneuvers, and Misty was able to close them down. Speed there actually had an unintentional block on IBOX, but that might actually be to his benefit here because I think at this point, if you're Speed, he does get a here from Misty, but he's going to have to put up a huge run here if he wants any chance of winning this game. He might just have to do it now. He does have a little bit of space here, but Panda, you could see, is right there. He break checks on him. He's going to look for Melina on the pass, but they miss again. And it's Misty who ends up with the crown. Um, and pretty soon, Speed's going to run out of time here. So he's going to have a decision to make in terms of what he wants to do. Misty loses it to IBOX. They're not the person he wants to lose it to. Misty does have a bit of a lead here, though, so it might not cost him too much. And Speed capitalized on IBOX because his attention was fully on Misty there. See if Speed can put up a run here. He's going to take it around the containers here. Everyone's kind of behind him. So you might be able to get out from this area, but Panda closed him down very nicely. I think Panda was actually playing it patiently, maybe not going full throttle until the very end, and that kind of surprised Speed. And Panda's found IBOX here. IBOX is still in this game. One big run here, and that might be enough for them. Good attempt there from both Speed and Melina trying to cut him down, but it's actually Alex who ends up with the crown, gets the pass to Misty. And let's see what happens here. Speed's staying on Misty's left. Misty's going to once again take it behind the buildings. He's been doing this a lot on this map. He's going to run himself out of space again here, and that's going to allow Melina to get the tag. Speed just kind of jets off, and Melina actually played it slow. That was like everyone was just following Speed there, and Melina just stayed behind everyone and just found a bit of space outside the buildings to get the crown to Speed there. Speed faked going into the building there, but that momentum is going to take Alex, who didn't fall for it, to go behind. Misty took a wide line there, so he was always going to be in front of Speed. They get the pass off here, and actually they have enough time here. They've already secured this game. So this is the first game where we're not really getting a close finish. Misty, Speed crashed again. What is going on here? But Misty kind of took the lead around the halfway point and didn't lose it from there. So kind of the first game where one of the teams kind of ran away with it here. So I guess we were kind of due to have an anti-climatic game. But guess what? Because Misty and Alex win this game, we are getting a game number 6, as I predicted. So excited to see that. Speed actually ended up with a minute 52, so he wasn't that far behind IBOX. I think Misty just kind of ran away with it towards the end. And perhaps as well, little incentive from the other teams not to let IBOX win this game. I think we did see a little bit of that on Speed's side, even if it was unintentional. I think he did block IBOX unintentionally on one of those sequences. So Misty is also in the exo set. Okay, wow. Yeah, I guess it's no longer much of a counter pick if two of our runners have decided that they want to run in the Exo set. So that leaves iBox as the lone runner here in the Elemental. But iBox does start off with the crown here, so he will get a bit of a advantage here going into the map. Uh, Something's happened here. He crashed. That allows Melina to get the crown. Speed's gonna have to find some space here to get to Melina. Melina was trying to play it patiently there. He's still alive though, but he's not near Speed. Oh, they might be able to get it here on the cutoff. Let's see. They do. Good patience once again from Melina. We've seen that a few times already this round. He's not panicking when the situation's not there for them. Panda, what a read there. Speed thought he lost him for a second, but Panda just played it patiently there. Gets the pass off to iBox, and iBox can now build on his early lead here. Cuts on the inside of Speed. That momentum takes him back into the building there. He's going to come back around. Speed's going to try and read him, but yeah, on a few occasions here, Speed's just not been able to get those patented cutoffs that he loves doing on iBox. Just hasn't been as effective. Panda got in a nice cutoff there on Misty. Kind of paused there just to try and see if iBox is going to be the first to get there, but he wasn't. So Panda smartly drives off and finds more space to get a much safer pass to iBox. Who's actually going to turn around here. Alex's momentum is going to take him into there though. Uh, Not sure what's going on there. A lot of commotion. Speed's kind of turned around because I think he was just expecting iBox to drive off. Speed's gonna try and get to iBox and trying to block him off, but he was just a little slow there. Let's see if he gets the cut here. He does. Good patience there from Speed. Didn't just fully send it there. He just waited to see what iBox is gonna do. A few cutters here. Uh, oh yeah, Speed. He was trying to get around Alex, but it just took too long. But he gets a nice interception there. iBox went a little too quickly into Panda, so that allows Speed to get in for a tag. And like I mentioned before this game, it's Speed that needs to win here to force a game seven. But Alex gets in a nice tag there on him. Can he find Misty though? Oh, he couldn't, and he tried to hug the inside or he tried to hug the building on the inside, but Speed got one of those wide wheels on the Exocet to tag Alex there. He actually cuts on the inside of that very tight corridor there, but he didn't quite see Alex, who was just waiting to see what happened from there. And this time he'll find Misty for an easy pass. Misty's actually only sitting here with 15 seconds, so he's kind of gotten off to a slow start. They will win the tournament with a win here. And yeah, Speed just kind of got a very normal looking cutoff there on him. He's kind of in trouble here, though. He's still alive, though, and the Exocet does have a little bit of speed um, compared to the Elemental, so he's able to get out of that situation there. Somebody went flying in for a cutoff, just about missed, and Speed, just like that, has now taken the lead. This is the opportunity he was looking for. So get around Alex here. The turning radius of that Exocet is pretty crazy, but Melina does get in the pass here. Oh, but he's kind of turned on the spot there. He's still alive with the crown. Speed crashed momentarily, but he's able to recover to get to Melina there. You can see, yeah, the turning's definitely a lot better than that Shelby Daytona, but Alex got in another tag on speed. He's got a few on speed this game. Um, That's going to allow Misty. He needs to make up a lot of time here. He also went with a counter pick with the Exocet. That's a card that he's also familiar with, that he's done quite well in. But maybe he's not finding it as comfortable running in that car compared to the Elemental. Speed just patiently got in between Misty and Alex there, waited for the 5-second ghost to expire, and got the crown from them. He's going to fake going in there, but he's ran out of space here. But it's actually Melina who helps comes to the rescue there. Still ghosted somehow. I think two people, both Speed and somebody else, went through Melina, but Speed is now out of position. Melina still has the crown though. Still has the crown. Interesting. Okay. But yeah, you could just see Speed was just nowhere near him enough. Um, yeah, I can't really blame Molina too much. I think they were just unfortunate that they couldn't get the pass off. Speed just missed Misty there. And Misty needs to get in a couple long runs here to put himself back into contention for game number 6 here. Molina got in a nice tag. So that's going to help Speed's cause if they can get this pass off, which they do. Good patience once again from them. I think every time when Speed and Molina have had some time to work with, they've been able to make these passes. Good save there from Molina. But this time, though, Speed's a little too far away ahead. So Molina smartly, though, didn't force it. He's going to turn back around. He should break here. Yep, he does eventually to get the crown here to Speed. Speed avoids IBOX, who's trying to go for the head-on tag. Okay, Speed was looking for Molina again for a pass, but this time Alex just kind of one-lined himself on the left of Speed and was able to get the tag and also the pass here to Misty. Speed's going to go for a cut. Misty cuts on the inside, so that might give him some space, but he doesn't see Panda with yet another cut. He seems to love making those cuts on this map. I mentioned it in the preview yesterday. This is Panda is probably the most experienced on this map just because he played the OG version back in Horizon 2. So he knows all the strategies in terms of how to navigate this map. And he's put that to good use so far. IBOX now not that far behind Speed, somehow avoids getting tagged there. And nobody's around him on this side. Speed's going to have to go for a cutoff here, but it's a little bit awkward here. Alex has also arrived on the scene. Uh, he's still alive. Wow, good brake check there from IBOX, and then he finds Panda for the save. Very, very nicely done there by IBOX, just to stay alive for as long as he did. Panda, though, is a little far from IBOX, but I think, no, they missed a tag there. And I think he might have crashed because he was just stationary there. I don't know what he hit, maybe the building there, but Speed's definitely not going to complain. He's going to capitalize on that. He's going to turn back around this way. He's going to go inside the building. That's a little surprising. I thought he was going to take on and go behind the building, but uh, yeah, that's going to allow IBOX now to chip away at the lead here. We have about 2.5 minutes remaining. Very close here at the top here. Oh, Speed finally gets in one of those cuts that he wanted on IBOX. A bit blindsided that time. He's going to use the straight line speed of the car to kind of power away from everyone there. Loses Misty. He's going to go in the building again. This is very risky because, yeah, there's not a lot of space there. But thankfully for him, Molina was right behind him. So all he had to do was just avoid IBOX. They go early again, though. Oh, no. Made another mistake there with going early. So they couldn't make the pass. Misty still has enough time here. Um, he is still alive. What? Okay, then. Somehow he stayed alive at the top of the dirt mound there. And he's able to get away. Speed's going to go for a cutoff here. IBOX, you can see right behind them. Misty knows he can't lose the crown to IBOX here. I wonder, he's still going to go for the win, but if he can't do it, I wonder if he's going to work with Speed and Molina here. But Panda gets the cutoff here. Speed almost gets it from him, and he does eventually. So good pursuit there. IBOX just wasn't in the picture, so Panda had nowhere to go. Speed's going to go in towards IBOX's direction, though. He's going to need another pass here from Molina, I think. Or no, he's going to drive off. Okay. Good juke there from Speed. He had basically everyone fooled coming out of the that small building there. He's come back around, kind of did like a half brake check there to get away from one of the cuts. He's still alive here, but he loses it here to IBOX, who still has enough time. He's going to basically have to hold it for virtually the remainder of this game for him to still have a chance at a victory here. Molina just parked at the exit there. But IBOX has some space to work with here. He still has a chance here. We might be on for another close finish. Speed and kind of took Misty out there, which he probably doesn't want. He probably wants Misty involved here so he can help him with tagging IBOX. IBOX now just 20 seconds behind Speed. A lot of open space on this side. Speed's going to go on his left here. IBOX knows he's there. He's going to cut on the inside here. Are there any cutoffs on that side? There isn't. No. Okay, so IBOX is still on the run here. Some more cutoffs coming. I thought Speed was going to push Panda into him. He still has a 1 second advantage. Molina has the crown here. Molina can't lose the crown to anybody else. He finds Speed. And now all Speed has to do is just kind of drive off here, milk the clock, and don't give it to anybody. Uh, don't give it to IBOX basically. So yeah, he does run out the clock there. And ladies and gentlemen, we are getting game 7. Just amazing. So Speed wins it by 10 seconds. Another close finish there. It did seem like he got worried there towards the end because IBOX did put up a very long run. I think he cut the lead down to 1 second. Um, but Molina got in a very clutch tag again. I think Molina in the other game that Speed and Molina won. I think also on this map in Game 4, Molina was also the one who got in a clutch tag at the end to save them. So very good teamwork there for the two of them, and we are going to Game 7, guys. Isn't that crazy? Like this is like I predicted it was going to be close, but the fact that it is this close right now, we are going to game 7. Like all 3 teams are even right now, 2 wins apiece. Whoever wins game 7 here takes this tournament. There's no more incentives here, right? So each team's going to be back to working on their own here. There's no incentive to prevent a team from winning. It's yeah, all 3 teams here are going to be at their best to try and take away the victory here. Let's get right into it here. S1, Speed's going to start off with the crown, so that might give him an advantage. He's back in the X set. Misty's gone back to the Elemental, and Panda is also back in the X set, this time as a blocker. Everyone else in Elementals. Let's see if Speed can pull it off. He was able to win Game 6 in the Exo set, sort of as the counter pick, and he does start off with the crown here. Um, lot of storylines on the line here as well. He just managed to get away from IBOX there. This is one of the bigger tournaments we've had this year, and the fact it's going to Game 7 is huge. Speed there kind of used the turning radius of the Exo set just to kind of spin on the spot there to get away. Misty's going to kind of read him on the right side, and wow, just outturned him to get the crown. But yeah, a lot of you could say legacies on the line here. Speed and Misty have had a bit of a rivalry this year. So whoever gets this win kind of gets the bragging rights almost. Panda there with a nice cutoff on Misty. He's had a few of those on him, just kind of blindsiding him. And iBox here, he can make a name for himself with the win here too. He and Panda were the pregame favorites here. Spins inside the obstacle, but he didn't quite see that Alex was still there. Panda gets in between Misty and Alex, and Alex is still alive here and somehow finds Misty, who kind of hugged the inside of the obstacle there to get to Alex. And Misty there just ran out of space trying to back into the building there. iBox is right by Panda, so they should make that pass, which they do. And iBox is now going to take it back around. Speed tried to go for the cutoff, but he just couldn't get the angle in the exit set. But iBox crashed into the building, so maybe a little bit of a mistake there from him, a bit of panic. Speed, I thought he was going to crash there too, but the exit set just turns really sharply, and he was able to get away from it, away from that situation as well, just because of the speed of the exit set. Fakes going left. Oh, he kind of banged the building there, the obstacle there. At least it looked like on my screen, but maybe he didn't. But iBox was eventually able to get the crown there. But he gets read right away by Misty. Maybe he didn't quite see him there. So Misty now has put himself into second place. iBox there trying to cut him off. Speed also coming to cut him off. Alex got right in the way though. What a clutch block that was. I don't even think Alex knew Speed was there, but what perfect timing there to prevent Speed from getting to Misty. Misty's going to turn around here, but runs out of space, but that's his teammate there, Alex. He's going to try and work his way around, but iBox blindsided him. to get the tag. Speed kind of went a little bit early trying to cut off IBOX, but IBOX got away regardless. He's going to try to come off here again, but Alex is there. Now Misty's kind of lagging behind, and because of that, I don't think Alex saw Speed. So Speed now can kind of build on this lead that he has. Still very close here at the top, which can definitely make for a dramatic finish here by the looks of things. Alex gets a nice tag there. Oh, he just found Misty before Panda ran him down from behind. Panda, of course, also in the exoset, so he probably is a bit quicker in a straight line. Uh, and Panda beats Speed to the tag. Speed read Misty all the way, but Panda just beat him too. But Melina gets the Panda. Speed's just trying to build some distance here. Just about finds the pass there from Melina. So he has another lead here to build with. A lot of people chasing from behind. He's actually going to take the risky route and go around back outside, and it works out. He had to kind of use that little ledge there, but it worked out for him. And turn back around here, but Panda just, yeah, he's so good at making those cuts. Read that one all the way. Can he find IBOX this time, though? Just about. If they had missed there, yeah, I don't think they would have been able to make the pass again. Now, Speed again, he's done this a few times on this map. He's just kind of lagging behind, just waiting for the action. And it works out for him again because IBOX just wasn't looking in front of him. So Speed got a pretty nice head-on tag there. He's going to spin on the spot again, finds Melina for the save. Very, very smart running here from Speed so far. With everything on the line, he's showing you that, yeah, when the pressure is up, he's definitely a big, big game performer, as we've seen in so many tournaments this year. So he's off to a nice early lead here. Can he build on this here and maybe put it away nice and early? Couldn't quite do it there. Misty was just committed to go all the way there into Speed. And Misty now has a bit of time to make up, but of course we all know he's very capable of making these long runs. He tried to read, or he tried to get around Panda there, but Panda with another nice read on him. That's sort of been Misty's biggest kryptonite this tournament. Panda's just been able to read him very well on these tags. IBOX is going to go behind the building here. He seems scared now with all the cutoffs that have happened of going back into open space. Somebody kind of knocked Speed out of the way there. Misty tried to read IBOX there. I think Panda there tried to save him because he saw that one coming, but Speed was just there to capitalize. Misty kind of did all the work there, but it's actually Speed who got it, and now IBOX gets him back. So an unfortunate sequence there from Misty because it's Speed and IBOX who ended up with the crowns there. Speed's going to go for a cutoff here on IBOX, goes all the way. Look at the speed that he went into that tag with and the line that he took. He's going to try and turn on the spot again here. He's done that a few times, just really capitalizing and using the car. Kind of, he did scrape the building, but I think he was looking for the pass regardless. IBOX gets a nice tag there. Melina was still ghosted. Somebody was still in his ghost at the 5-second mark. So because of that, he had just enough time to get out from there. Speed had to avoid colliding with the obstacle there because of that IBOX closing down from behind. And so far right now, it looks like it's between IBOX and Speed, but still a lot of time left. We have 3.5 minutes left. And now Misty's back on the crown again. He's going to have to put up a long run here to get back into contention, I think. So take it back around the building, a bit risky, but Alex is right there with them. So they're doing that very well, just kind of find each other. Can they find the pass here? They do. So that allows Misty to get out of this situation, but you can see he's a little worried about Speed and the exoset because of how much speed that thing has. Alex gets in the way there, blocked both IBOX and Speed. So good blocking there from Alex. And yeah, this is going to allow Misty to put up the long run that he needs. He's now in second place. Goes back behind the building. Speed's going to go for the cutoff here. Misty sees it coming, turns back around very sharply. But in the process, loses it here to Panda. IBOX right on his left. Good pass there from them. Now IBOX has a chance to get himself back into potentially the lead here. Panda misses this block though, so that means IBOX is kind of isolated here, and that's going to allow Melina to get the tag. Can Melina? He sees where Speed is. Once again, plays it very patiently. Just turns on the spot there. and they just do it very patiently with the passing. And because speed turned back around this way, that allows Melina to get a nice block in. You see Panda, wow, another great read on speed. Just knew exactly what he was trying to do there. I think IBOX is right in front of him. He is. IBOX is about just over 30 seconds behind. Yeah, we might be on for another close finish here. Let's see here. IBOX still alive here. Can he get out of this area? Couldn't quite do it. Try to avoid Misty there, but in the process loses it to Alex. Alex has to find Misty here. They couldn't quite do it, but he's still alive with the crown. He does see Misty again. Oh, he brake checked Speed, but because Speed crashed into the container, he was still there. Bit unfortunate for Alex, but he nicely reads Speed again. What a sequence here. This is what happens when the pressure's on. We're just over a minute left. Speed has a 30-second lead, about 40 seconds on Misty, but Panda takes the crown here. He's going to have to find IBOX quickly. He does. IBOX still lots of time here to make a comeback. He's going to go towards the left of the map. He's still alive. He had to put on the brake check there. It turns away from Speed. Very nicely done from IBOX. He's done that a few times this tournament. So very nicely done from him. He's going to turn back around this way. Oh, what a block from Panda, I think that was. That's going to allow IBOX to drive away here. He has a chance to take the lead back from Speed here. He's just going left and right. Misty actually ends up blocking Speed for some reason. And now let's see if Melina, no, he can't quite get it. IBOX back in the lead here. Somebody's going to have to get the crown here from him or they're going to be out of time. Panda saves IBOX here. If they make this pass, it might be too late for everyone else. And Alex gets it here. Speed needs 13 seconds. He has to get the crown here. He does. He has enough time here to make the comeback. He's going to have to keep the crown for the remainder of this game. He can't pass it to anybody. He's going to go behind here. Is there enough space to work with? There just isn't. And IBOX gets him from behind, and that will secure the victory for IBOX and Panda. Our pre-tournament favorites come back, win Game 7, and win the We Got Next 2v2 Team King tournament. Very well done. Let me just go back actually to look at the times. Oh, actually I can't, but yeah, very well done. Wow, what a finish again. What a game. That ending sequence. Speed had the opportunity with 15 seconds left. He needed to make up about 12 or 13 seconds. He had enough time to make the comeback. Drove behind the building, and I wonder now if he's maybe rethinking whether he should have done that. Um, what a finish there. And just a clutch tag, obviously, as well at the end from IBOX just to prevent Speed from winning it. Yeah, Panda and IBOX got off to a really quick start this tournament. They were this round. They won two of the first three games and then kind of fell apart. But they were always in the other games. Like I don't think there was any other game where they weren't really in it. Maybe there was one. Um, and in this last game, with everything on the line, they were trailing for quite a bit because Speed had the lead for most of Game 7. And at the very end, iBox put in a very long run. I think it was about 2 minutes, or about a minute remaining, and that secured the victory for them. Yeah, GG's for sure. That was very well played. I think Tim's mentioned this is some of the best King gameplay that he's ever seen. I can definitely agree with that. And of course, someone like Tim. Tim's been around forever, right? So he's definitely seen his share of Team King tournaments, and I have to say this is right at the top of the list. Like I don't know what King tournaments were Team King tournaments that you guys used to run back in the day, but this to me is absolutely the best that I've seen so far. Just the level of gameplay, uh, the close finishes, the lead changes, just the strategy that the teams used. Uh, like everything was on the line here, and they used everything that they've been practicing on throughout this tournament, put it to use for this final round. And yeah, like just what a series, what a tournament. Um, yeah, let me just see if there's anything going on in the chat. No, everyone's just saying GG's. Yeah, some of our participants here are definitely feeling the after effects of such an intense tournament. Um, yeah, hearts are racing. Um, yeah, wow, what a tournament. So just to kind of recap everything. So Panda IBOX win the tournament. They win the final round, 3 games to 2-2. So all three of our teams did end up getting 2 wins, but it was iBox and Panda who ended up pulling it out with a Game 7 victory. So they're the first team to 3 wins to take the final round to win this tournament. Um, but also, yeah, congratulations as well to, well, first, congratulations to them. They were the pre-tournament favorites. I know Odd and I were kind of thinking, like, are they just going to run away with the tournament? But they didn't. They did end up winning it, but it wasn't easy for them. Speed and Melina and Alex and Misty put in a lot of effort to try to prevent that from happening. But in the end, Pen and iBox, maybe the experience just played a key factor in the end. They were able to pull it out. So congratulations to them for winning the We Got Next tournament. But just also want to shout out, obviously, our other participants here, Speed and Melina almost pulled off one insane comeback because if you remember, they didn't get their first win in the final round until game number 4. And even then, that was like off a last second clutch tag from Molina to get it to Speed. But they had all the momentum after that. They won, I think, game 6. Yeah, they won game 6, and then they were in the lead for the majority of game 7. So it seemed like they had all the momentum to make a crazy comeback, but weren't quite able to do it in the end. Of course, Speed did have a chance to do so with 15 seconds remaining, but just couldn't quite do it. Um, but very good effort from them. Definitely the team that I think improved the most throughout the tournament. Um, Maybe not so much on Speed's side, but definitely on Molina's side. If there was like an award for that, then by far they're the team that would get that. So just yeah, like if you were to watch back their first week matchup against Misty and Alex and compare it to what they just pulled off the last couple of rounds, it's like night and day. And I think a lot of that has to do with the practice that they've gotten, the amount of experience, the teamwork. I know Speed is very helpful with that, with Melina, just kind of showing the way, telling him what to do, helping him out with his car choices or letting him borrow his car. So good effort from them. Like it was impressive. Like they made a few mistakes here and there in this final round, but they still executed their strategy really well. And a lot of that has to do with yeah, that teamwork and coordination, and also Molina kind of improving his play throughout the course of the tournament. So shout out to them, and also of course to Misty and Alex. Um, they almost had it, like they definitely they're a team that started off really, really strong, beating Speed and Molina, of course. They had that one hiccup against Spec and Tooney, but after that, like they were just on top of things. They did actually beat Panda and iBox in round 4. Um, yeah, like they had their hiccups, but I think as a team, like they just worked so well together, and it's because they're both smart, experienced players. Like I've obviously teamed up with Alex in previous tournaments. He always knows what to do, gets himself into nice positions. We saw him put in some really nice decks at the end here. Like he tried his best to help out Misty as best as he could. They got some nice tags on Speed as well in the final round. And then with Misty, of course, like I'm, of course, on the same team with him for Panda's tournament, the Bar Seasons 3v3 tournament. So I know firsthand like how good of a player Misty is in the team environment, just getting into the right positions, knowing what to do. Like it's very easy to play with someone like that. So for both of them, like just just unfortunate that they came up short in the end, but the efforts, the teamwork, the coordination, everything was there. Like it's they were right there. Um, and if you were to replay Game 7 again, who knows? The result could be different. It was that close. Like I don't think any team ran away with it. Like Panda and iBox just barely at the end took the victory. But if you were to replay it, it could be Misty and Alex taking it. It could be Speed and Melina. Like that's how close it was. So yeah. And the final person I have to shout out, of course, is our tournament host AudDaGod. Um, what else can I say? Like, this is, I said it to you like at the beginning of the tournament, like, this is the best tournament idea that I've seen since Horizon 4 and possibly like just of all time. Like, for me, since I started playing in tournaments, right? Like, just the idea of having like an experienced player matched up with someone from a newer generation and just having that teamwork and partnership develop over a course of a tournament, like that idea is just, yeah, it's so good. Like, it gives an incentive for all the players to work together. And that's the key for this tournament, right? It's a Team King tournament. It's not free for all. You're not playing for just yourself. You're playing for yourself and your teammate. So you're working for a team. So to have that as the theme of this tournament just worked out so well. And I'm so glad we got such an amazing final round because I think we needed an amazing final round to cap off this tournament. So we have to give lots of good shout outs to Odd for the tournament idea, for hosting the tournament, and for like setting it up, obviously with the format. Um, yeah,